All right, everybody, we're back with the True North podcast. It's an extremely special episode for me because I get the fortunate opportunity to talk to my senior instructor, Brodi Pursley. Welcome back, my man.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Decided I wanted to do it just me and you today because I think it's important, for people to really hear what we've got going on out here with True North and with some of the other stuff that we have going on.
Right.
So I wanted to dedicate this episode as an opportunity for all of our followers and listeners and everyone out there to actually, one, hear about the things we got coming up, two, things we've had going on, and three, get to hear how we just have normal conversations when we're talking about future operations, past operations, good life stuff we just joke around about all the time. So
may have to dial it down just a little bit for
why
the interweb.
Why? We can do it however we want today. Yeah. That's the beauty of having our own show because we can have fun with it and have a good time.
Fair enough.
So Brodi, first off, for everybody out there listening, I want you to introduce yourself, and then we'll talk about what we've got going on, the big thing that's coming up that we want everybody to know about.
Huge.
And we'll just go from there. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, sounds good, man. I'm Brodi Pursley, senior instructor here at True North Enterprises. Army veteran, special operations veteran. Found out when I met Jimmy about 10 years ago, we share the same patch, which I'm sure you can see all my tattoos if you're watching the video podcast. But I got my unit patches on my arms, and it's an arrowhead, so we were the tip of the spear. I saw Jimmy's patch one day in a picture or at his house. I don't remember, in his car maybe. And it kind of tripped me out a little bit because I'd never seen anybody else with that patch. So we almost immediately bonded right there from the beginning, not only because we were veterans, but we were sister units in a sense. But 2000, 2004, I was active duty, Army for 112th Signal Battalion out of Fort Bragg. So I ran Special Operations Communications for Special Forces, Special Operations Forces.
All the cool kids.
Whatever that entails, yeah. We had the best of the best watching our back at all times. So... I felt good about it. Did 3 combat deployments, 4 deployments overall, and got out in 2005. I did a year in the National Guard. It was not for me. They give you the, when you get out,
it's weird
they're like...
how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, I was in a real high-tempo unit, so we were always doing something. We were on a cycle system, and then I get out to a engineering battalion for National Guard with like 5 commo guys who are all extremely overweight.
Sapper tab, more like crapper tab.
And
so pissed off some sappers, but that's life.
They give you the option. It was kind of a promotional thing, if you can consider that with the military. When you get out, they're like, hey, you can try this for a year. If you don't like it, you can get out. If you like it, you can re-enlist. So, needless to say, it was not for me. So I got out and got in the casino business for a while. And I say a while, almost 12 years.
Yeah, dude, and that's where we really had our first, where you and I had a chance to get to know each other.
Yeah.
We both worked at the casino together, both just like shook our heads a bunch of times, the stuff we saw out there.
Right when you think you've seen it all, something else surprises you. It's insane.
That's straight up casino stuff.
Yeah.
Which, like some people love it. They've been doing it for years and they continue to do it.
Yeah.
But I think just for you and I, we always kind of felt like we were destined or just had that feeling that we were made for something bigger, something more, less, the one thing that...
Less monotonous?
Well, the one thing, like you took from me when we were talking about it, but when we left the casino, we both said it's because it wasn't doing enough for our souls.
Yeah.
And how important that is for us, especially now. We just kind of bleed it when we're out here, and we're talking True North stuff, and we talking everything else we've got going on. We never had that same passion for the casino. And that's not taken away from the casino or anybody that works out there. Because a lot of people that do work out there are pretty awesome people.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I mean, there's, most of our friends in the last 10 years have been a part of the casino. And it seems like there seems to be a running trend where it's about that 10 to 12 year mark where we all kind of started in it together, and now we're all kind of getting out of it together around the same time. So it's just one of those things where, you do it, you have your fun, you make your money, but you really just want to do something else, either to give back to the community, rebuild your soul, make yourself feel better.
And a lot of people use that to go to school, so they go to school and come out and they do different careers. So we've had quite a few friends that have done that, which is awesome. Any route you take is fine, even if you stay in the casino, but just like I think it's different because you and I being cut from a different cloth, we're always looking to improve. We're always looking to grow. And it's real easy after you've been in a lot of jobs for that's like that for a lot of people. You
Yeah.
just kind of hit that wall.
You plateau.
Well, you know you're not going to go any higher. So it's like, what do I do now? Do I keep doing this and end up kicking my dog one day because I'm pissed off? Or
Right.
do I get to kicking rocks, and figure out something else to do? So we were so lucky and fortunate. Your wife, Lona, worked at the casino too. A lot of our instructors worked at the casinos. And so for us to have that opportunity to be like, because, from day one, I was like, okay, so this is what I'm going to do. And first thing I did, I went over to your guys' house, and I was like, all right, so this is my plan.
Yeah,
And
I will never forget that moment sitting around my kitchen
know.
table. Just the
I
three or
remember-
four of us. Matt was there, so there was four of us hanging out, and
I was like, so in 1 month, this is going to happen. In 3 months, this is going to happen. In 1 year, this is going to happen. In 5
Yeah.
years. And then like a week later, I'm like, yeah, I quit my job. Let's do this.
on New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, well, it was weird how it kind of
Yeah.
happened. We've kind of mentioned it before. I don't really want to get into the story, but something happened where I was like, this is a sign. It's the new year. I've got this opportunity. I've got to pull the trigger. And when I showed up at your guys' house and I was like, yeah, I did this. You guys
Yeah.
were like, here we go. Game on. We flipped the hats around and it was me and you and Lona and Matt, all of us right there. Now what can we do to make this better and keep it growing? And now it's been a couple of years and here we are.
You put yourself in that position where you left yourself no choice but to do what you really wanted to do
It
deep
was a
down.
struggle. It's a
So
struggle.
It is a struggle, but as with any success, there's you start out rough, and
and I think that's a lot of things. So many people are afraid to make that leap that we made because it's that comfortability of just being kind of like, how am I going to pay the bills next month? And dude, we still sweat that. I get that we still sweat that, but we're living our passion. We're helping other people find their passion in their job, and
Right.
I've always been so thankful. And I know you tend to be my biggest whipping boy, or whatever the term is, when it comes to stuff, because you and me, we right there,
we've been there.
wanting to get it done, and
Yeah.
how are we going to do this, and what do we got to do, and I still remember having that conversation with you. So it's like when we have these conversations, it's great for people that are maybe looking to kind of do their own thing and looking to grow. It's tough, and I think that's why a lot of new companies fail, and they have that, one, they don't have the support from their friends and family.
Yeah.
I've had nothing but support when it officially came to it. Right? At the nuts and bolts of it, I had nothing but support from my dad, obviously, and you and Lona and Matt. As far as like friendship goes and all that stuff, I was like, I can bounce ideas off you. I could talk about anything. When your guys are like, whoa, Jimmy, you need to slow down a little bit, you're right there to tell me.
Yeah.
When things are going really good, you guys are right there to be like, dude, this is awesome. It's rocking. Let's keep doing this. And, we just kept pushing each other to that next level and that next level.
It was serendipitous, because we were all kind of in the same position life-wise when we fell into this. We all, every single one of us wanted to improve ourselves and wanted to improve our lives. And, just the way that we went about it, we were an unstoppable force,
dude.
basically.
And it's so surprising, man. Like seriously, like the conversations that I do get to have with people now, they're like, how did this start? And it was like, well, how much time do you got? Because there's been so much change in the last couple of years, like good and bad, difficult and easy, or difficult and easier, the good, that whole ebb and flow of starting a new business.
Right.
And the ebb and flow of following your passion, watching it get crushed every once in a while, and having to climb back up again and stand back up and do it again. And okay, we're going to try this, back to the drawing board.
And we're fortunate enough to have people catch us when we fall. It's not like we're just a couple individuals starting up our own business and we have nobody to fall back on. We've got a phenomenal team that has grown exponentially since day one. But we had a good foundation to start, and it puts a little extra pressure on each one of our shoulders in the beginning because we were four people that really just wanted to do this, and we were holding each other's weight. Now we've kind of disseminated that weight, and everybody can support us, and we support them, and it's just.
Well, you
it's
figure
awesome.
we picked up Brian and Jeff with Two Bravo Laser. We picked those guys up, and then along with Greg and everything else we had, we ended up coming out here to the compound. And then it was a matter of, okay, now part owner in 4 businesses and running 4 businesses between 2 Bravo and True North and Neosho Hardscapes and
In and outdoor deals.
In and outdoor deals. And now we get to unleash our newest venture, which was a 5-year plan for us, something like that.
It was our 5-year goal from the beginning. Yeah,
5-year goal.
and we're 2 years in. Two
and some
and a half,
change-ish. Yeah, 2 and some change-ish. It's crazy how fast time goes. But at 2.5 and some change-ish, right in that area, you have just recently become the director of our new nonprofit, Brotherhood of Warriors. So I want to take this time, one, to say congratulations. Awesome. It's a great fit because I know, you being my closest and best friend, how passionate we all are about veterans.
Yeah.
And there was never really any doubt that, when we did this, that have you as a director, really passionate about wanting to help veterans and about doing it the right way and getting to celebrate cool things and do it in the cool way because it's always something different.
Oh, yeah.
Because, truth is with Brodi Pursley, Brodi needs to be challenged and tested and pushed in something new all the time. And that's one thing, we identify those kind of things in each other as leaders and as friends and stuff that's going to make them like the best possible version of them.
And I think that's it's not just a Brodi Pursley thing. I think it's just a veteran thing, and a lot of civilians they acquire that ability as well. But go ahead.
And a dependent thing because Lona is a freaking rock star.
100%. We wouldn't be here without Lona.
No.
100%. Yeah. So but just having grown up in that veteran tempo, like I said, when we were in the military, we had a real high tempo job. We were gone a lot. We were always moving forward.
Yeah.
We always had it, our guys 6, and then we get out and like we were talking about with the casino, we kind of plateaued. We got stagnant. So when we finally broke away from that and started all of this, it really motivated all of us because we did get to change and we did get excited and we got to think outside the box and really utilize our skills for shifting left and shifting right. We have that ability of that freedom of movement now to do that. And that's why I'm really happy to, be out here and kind of.
Well, let's talk about Brotherhood a little bit.
Yeah.
What is Brotherhood of Warriors? What is it basically going to entail? Because I know you're still hacking out a lot of the details with the stuff. We're all, as a group, as a whole, deciding the best way to continue to move Brotherhood of Warriors forward and up. It's there. It's established. Yes. We know this is what we're doing. We've got our baseline of who we're going to be helping, which is obviously veterans, the how we're going to be helping them. There's multi-tiered levels of what we're going to look at to be able to help veterans. Obviously...
Well, we basically our mission statement in a nutshell is just, we're here, we're formed, we want to help veterans and their families, kids of veterans, friends and family of veterans. It doesn't necessarily have to be a veteran that we help. We're a nonprofit in our community. We want to help everybody, but we're focused on, finding those veterans that are having a hard time transitioning from the military into civilian life. We want to find the ones that are having a hard time finding a home or a job.
Yeah, and we're not talking about just fresh out either.
Yeah.
We're talking about, like I believe I can add to that when it's all veterans, because Absolutely. I think one thing that we've talked about is the fact that, that reassimilation process takes time, and some guys never had the opportunity to realize they needed to reassimilate into how to be, and I use that loosely, but how to really be the best version of you and where you can maximize your potential as a veteran coming out into the civilian world or being in the civilian world.
Right.
So we can use that.
And we've talked about this a lot, how a lot of times veterans are seen as a liability more than an asset, especially in the workplace. So what we do as well is we work with companies to help understand like the DD-214, which is the form you get when you get out of the military that basically has all your information on it. And that's your form you carry around for the rest of your life because people are going to need it when you get jobs and stuff. Yeah. So we help the companies read and understand that and then help find the best position for that veteran in that company rather than just sitting behind a desk where, he's not utilized to his capabilities.
Perfect example. Like we were just talking about the fact that a lot of veterans are used to moving up and want to be in jobs where they can continue to progress and move up and be challenged and all that stuff. And then there is, of course, that that other side of the house of the veterans that are completely cool with just having that
Yeah.
quiet job, off doing their thing. That's all they want to do. They want to be able to go home at night,
Right.
and be able to turn it off, which is fine too. The idea with us, with Brotherhood of Warriors, is we want to find that right veteran for that right fit.
Absolutely.
Because we know companies want to help,
Oh, yeah.
hire veterans. So, they want to help veterans. They want to give back to the veteran community for everything that they've done and all the sacrifices they made. And we're just kind of working that as a catalyst for that.
Right.
And like I said, when I hear you talk about it, and when we do talk about it, because, I feel that's why I wanted to have you on, because I know you and I can have a good conversation, because and I think that's one of the other things with us is the fact I start a sentence and you're more than apt to be able to finish the sentence and vice versa, which is good, because I think people really need to know the extent of our passion when it comes to Brotherhood of Warriors.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of companies have been able to see that and explore that in the leadership training. But a lot of them, they want other ways to be able to help veterans. So we create this platform.
Absolutely. And we've got several programs lined up. Like you said a minute ago, we're still kind of in the beginning stages of organizing, our board of directors and our programs in line. But we have a very good idea of what we want to do. And, we've got a Little Warriors program that we're going to do for kids of veteran families, just to get them in and out of fun activities and, get them as well integrated into regular life. Because when you're following around a military family, I'm sure there's plenty of military brats out there that, I say military brat. For those of you who don't know, that's just a terminology. I'm not calling these little kids brats.
Well,
but they have to. Some of them are just used to bouncing around, losing friends every 2, 3, 4 years because they have to switch schools. So that's something that we're going to focus on too, is just giving these kids a form of stability and a foundation.
Yeah. See, and that's awesome. That's and we've got other organizations that we work closely with. Whether it's Compass Quest, which is another great nonprofit organization for veterans.
100%.
And we talk about them all the time. It's because we're family. They're the ones that really get it, and they're so selfless that they've been a big part in helping us start this nonprofit, because there's so many avenues, so many people want to help, and it can become very overwhelming for one smaller nonprofit to handle, because they've sacrificed so much, and that ability that we can kind of help take a little bit of that pressure off. That Brotherhood of Warriors can kind of pick up, and that's what we've always been about as veterans in the service. Was when we never let the guidon hit the ground. We never let that flag hit the ground, and we could pick up where they left off, and we can direct people in that direction when they're the better fit to be able to help.
Right.
Because they're so selfless. They're so good at what they do, between Ted and Amy, and their ability to really communicate a good, solid veteran message has been one of the driving forces for us.
Absolutely. And they're at the forefront of that in our region, and us starting this up is by no means any kind of competition. We don't. That's not how it works around here. We're all wanting to work together and stand side by side, and we just make one force become bigger. That's all it is. We're just a bigger force to help veterans and their families in our region.
Another nonprofit that you're a part of, the VFW.
Yes.
That's another one right there. For instructors out here, you've got Eric Cruz over the VFW Neosho, who's the commander over there. His deputy commander,
vice
commander is Kevin, one of the instructors. You're the bar manager over there, as if you don't have enough stuff going on.
Right.
But that's just another way. And the VFW have their open to everybody karaoke Friday, Saturday night, right? Neosho. Which is awesome. I love going down there and hanging out and doing a little singing.
Speaking of helping out veterans, I'll just throw a shameless little plug in here.
Do it.
For my dad. We do charity events every now and then to help veterans in our area. We just did one at the beginning of the year to help Addie, who had a brain tumor. And so we tried to do one every 3 to 4 months. My dad was just diagnosed with cancer, and so we're going to do a benefit for him on the 14th. Kevin Upshaw is going to come out and do a an acoustic setting, kind of real intimate. And we're just going to have a good time and celebrate him and show all the love and support that.
That's going to be awesome.
That we can
want to talk more about that in a second. Real quick, we're going to hear from our friends over at Compass Quest.
All right.
All right, everybody, we're back with the True North podcast. My good friend, best friend, senior instructor, and director of Brotherhood of Warriors,
Yes,
Brodi
sir.
Pursley.
I'm proud to be here. Thank you for having me.
Welcome back, man. So we were just talking about the fact that your dad, who's also a veteran, and a retired LEO,
Yep.
police officer, get diagnosed with vocal cord cancer.
Yes.
Which is unfortunate.
He's just had a rough run.
Yeah.
In the last 2 years, health-wise. He got Rocky Mountain tick fever, which gave him an incurable blood infection, slipped and broke all the ribs on his right side, punctured his lung. That's how they found out he had the vocal cord cancer, because they were
So
intubating
maybe
him.
that's a sign. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you can look at that and, man, it's unfortunate that he fell and broke a rib and all this stuff.
Mhm.
But think about that. If they had,
Well, he was at the VA when he did it, too.
I know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. If that hadn't happened,
Yeah.
I mean, God works in
And they caught it early.
strange
It's
ways,
stage
dude.
1. So they caught it early. So they can't do surgery on it because they'll have to remove the whole vocal cord.
Yeah.
So he's going to have to do radiation.
He's just got to learn sign language.
every day, 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
It's one thing to put on a benefit for somebody, and it's another thing to put on a benefit for your dad. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
not that it has any more significant meaning than helping somebody else with the same, with any form of cancer or disability like that. But I'm more emotionally involved because it is my dad, and I want to appease his wishes as well. He doesn't want a lot of publicity with it. He just kind of wants to do,
He just wants to get through
what
it.
we do, and just
It's understandable. I mean,
Yeah.
we're prideful people, man. That's how we've always been. But for the fact that he's your dad and family and us. I mean, you know how my relationship is with my dad too. So I'm really passionate about it. So when you told me, I was emotional,
Right.
because that's a big deal, and
So
but we get through it.
right.
We get through it. We drive on. So we've got that event coming up for him,
Yep.
which is going to be at the VFW Neo show. What day is that?
May 14th.
14th.
We'll have Kevin Upshaw out there doing a little kind of an intimate acoustic
I love that guy.
country music setting.
He's the episode 1 on the podcast.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can shout out songs and he'll play them if he knows them. It's a real awesome thing, and he loves to support the veterans and play down there at the VFW. And we'll have some great food. There might be a surprise raffle from one of the local gun shops in the area. I'm not going to spoil anything because he kind of wanted to keep it a little bit of a secret. But
That's cool.
It's just going to be a real kind of low key, good thing. If you want to make any kind of donations to him, you can come out there to the VFW and throw it out there. He's already stated that he's only going to use what he needs, and he wants to use the rest to help other veterans
To go into the Brotherhood of Warriors.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be that's fantastic. And again, that's a great opportunity for us to have this platform to really give back. To other veterans, because I mean, truth be told, there's so many veterans out there that are experiencing life so much more difficult than us. So much different things when they were deployed, and stuff that they've experienced and went through, and for our opportunity to be able to give that back. I mean, we love doing it,
and we've done it from the very beginning. When you really think about it and you look back, we started out here with us, and then some of our veteran buddies came out, and then another guy knows that he knows a veteran that is kind of down on his luck and wants to just have that camaraderie again. So all of a sudden he's out here playing Op 4, and then next thing you know, we've got 25 veterans out here working.
Come out here and hang out.
Yeah,
and saying that, like you said, since day one. So when I got approached by Mark Raines from the Joplin Outlaws, he'd give me a call. Hey, I got your name. Would you like to put on Veteran Appreciation Night for the Joplin Outlaws? I'm like, yeah. And I told him, like, right out the gate, like day one when I talked to him, and he and I have conversations looking back on it now. He's like, Jimmy, when I first met you, you were you're going to do this, you're going to put this many people in the stands, and you're going to offer this, and this is going to be there.
because you're Mr. Veteran.
And then, and then I did it. And then, he was like, man, I was so blown away by it. He's like, I knew you're number 2.
Yeah.
Coming back out there. So he did it again last year, and it was another great show. It was really hot last year.
Oh my God.
But it was still a lot of fun. I got to get out there and play with the Outlaw kids, man. And for people that don't know who the Joplin Outlaws are, they're a Mink League baseball team. There's I think 6 or 8 teams that are in this league, and it's all in basically a 4-state area for the most part. And these are college kids that are on their break from college playing baseball, but they want to keep honing their skills. They want to keep improving so they can competitively play that college ball.
Right.
So these kids come out, and they have right at Joe Becker Stadium, right in Joplin. They come out there and play, and I love going to the games. I'm probably one of the bigger Outlaw fans. I'm there.
Yeah, you're there almost every game.
Almost every game because I love the game of baseball.
Yeah.
Two, I really appreciate Mark Raines and everything he's done for True North.
Mm-hmm.
And three, I mean, Veteran Appreciation Night has been awesome, and this year's going to be our best year yet. We've got we're going to have the fireworks again. People are going to be able to come out, and that's June 15th at Joe Becker Stadium. They're going to come out, and we're going to have a great night of baseball. It's dollar beer night, which is always fun.
You don't even have to say baseball for some people. You're just like, hey, you want to go to dollar beer night? Oh, wait, there's baseball involved? What? And hot dogs?
So, and we get to see Jimmy in baseball pants? Maybe that's just me. I think that's just my...
Yeah.
Which is, I'm cool with that, whatever. I have a good time. But every year it's been awesome because, and I want to find every way possible to help improve the Joplin Outlaws organization.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've got a beautiful stadium. It's right there off 4th Street. A lot of people don't even know it's there. If just go by, drive by it,
one,
check
they don't
it out.
know it's there, and two, I'll say something like, oh yeah, I'm going to go watch the Joplin Outlaws play. They're like, didn't that team go away? And I was like, no, that was the other shithead team that couldn't pay their bills and whatever else. But the Outlaws have been here.
Yeah.
They're consistent. They're good for the community. The kids, I bring my boys out there, and the boys get to go out in the field and play catch with these guys, and they all kind of take them in, and makes these college kids feel like celebrities out there, and they should, they should get to feel that, like everybody should experience.
You got people that go out and sit on the hill and watch them practice, you know, if you can't go in or whatever.
And they make the kids just feel so welcomed, and it's always a good time. And I know for Veteran Appreciation Night, we're doing for Brotherhood of Warriors, and the cool thing is, this is the second year that the Joplin Outlaws, Alorica is sponsoring the Joplin Outlaws to go through our leadership training. They went through last year. Last year was awesome, dude.
Oh my God,
I had so
these
much fun.
kids.
Funniest story. I always going to tell this story when I go to describing like what the leadership training is and what they experience. When we do the team building thing, it's they run missions, and they run missions against the Op 4 guys, as you know. Most of the time you're an instructor. Sometimes you get to play the Op 4, command, whatever the case is. So last year we had the Outlaws out, and these kids, little high speed, they got life by the short and curly.
They put us to shame.
Well, the funny part is, physically, we're old veterans.
I can't run and gun like that. I can walk and I can yell at them and I can tell them to go this way or go that way. But
the funny part,
at that rate,
the funny part with that though was, everybody's got a plan until you get shot at.
Right.
And I think that's one thing that they really quite weren't ready for.
Yeah.
And watching them all just kind of scatter, and duck off. But
because on Call of Duty you respawn.
But their appreciation and their respect for what we've got going on, what we're doing out here.
Mm-hmm.
It's, a lot of people want to give, millennials and all this stuff a hard time. But these kids were professionals when they came out here. They laughed and joked around, and we always try to provide that atmosphere. I think a lot of people, and going into it and talking about it again, when people think military leadership training, they're thinking the Arlie Ermy up in your junk, yelling and screaming. And now there are times, I will admit, that I yell. but it's usually...
When I can hear you from 10 acres away yelling, and then...
That's so everybody can hear.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not picking on
there's a lot going on.
anybody.
There's explosions every now and then. There's the teammates are yelling at each other. So you just got to one up it and raise your voice a little bit.
I want them to know what I mean. and so, like, was it last class or 2 classes ago?
Yeah.
What was it that happened when we were out there? Because you said that to me, and I had to reflect on it. Like, really? Do I really do that?
I was literally probably 10 acres away. We have a 15-acre compound out here, and I was 10 acres away, probably just on the other side of the whole field, running one of my teams, or I don't remember if I was Op 4 that day, and I could just hear you.
No, you were a instructor.
Was I?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I could just hear you just yelling and going to town, and then I come out from the outside. We're headed back up to
big building.
to HQ. Yep, and I pass you, and you're in Jimmy mode, like just beast mode. Your face is red. You're walking with your chest puffed out, like just waiting for the next person to yell at. And you lock eyes with me, and it instantly changes. You just started laughing. You're like, man, I love my job.
You gotta have fun, and it's funny because there's this progression thing of when people come out. When we talk about how our leadership training works, everybody's kind of a little bit nervous, a little skeptical when it first starts out, and then that dynamic changes, and you can tell when that does change. And at first, the way I feel about it, the way I approach it, because I know all the instructors are different. You know, like with Brian, he's got a much more calmer, cool demeanor about it. Now, if there's something really going wrong, you can hear him saying something about it. But for me, you know, especially when I'm command and I'm overseeing the stuff, or when I'm one of the team leaders, you know, I'll take that one person and let them know, hey, you're doing this wrong. And I just happen to do it really loudly.
Yeah.
And that's the rest of the team all of a sudden thinks, I do not want to hear that like that. And so that kind of changes that whole speed of how they want to do it.
Yeah.
And after that happens, I'm not yelling just to yell. Then it's that same amount of praise. I'm yelling just as loud when I'm praising and when I'm fired up. I guarantee there's probably been 100 people in the class, and you know we've had like 600 people through our class now, somewhere in that area.
Oh yeah,
somewhere in that area. But how many of them I've high-fived because I'm just so excited out there and pumped up, just banging on my chest like, yes, this is what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, because they get rewarded. You know, if they do something right out there, they get rewarded for it, whether it be in the form of you giving them a high five in the middle of a battle, or if the Op4 kind of backs off a little bit and gives them a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
But, you know, for those of you who are listening and don't quite understand what it is we're talking about, it's a leadership development company. So we take our military experience and we correlate that to how it translates to the civilian world. It's just another notch in their belt that they can take back to their company and be like, wow, you know, this totally beats sitting in front of a PowerPoint for 4 hours 100%. Trying to keep my eyelids open.
100%.
We teach relatively the same concepts, just in a different hands-on,
in our
outside
way.
the box kind of way.
And we talk about our experiences with it, which I think is also a big difference. And we ask the classes experience, you know, experiences they've had, things that affect them when it comes to leadership. And you can always see those moments when people really have those self-reflection moments where it's like, I think that might be me.
Yeah.
I think it might be me that's a little bit too quiet. I think maybe it's a little bit too me that gets a little bit too wound up. You know, because for us in our positions and how we talk about it, we're humble by it. We recognize the fact that we've got our own shortcomings, and we're such family and we're tied so much with it that we don't have that fear of jabbing at the other one to be like, you know, do the little knife hand point and be like, hey, that's you, Jimmy. And I'm like, yeah, I know that's kind of me. But
that's how I wish every company worked. You know, we've worked for companies where there was no camaraderie, there was no morale. There wasn't, you know, people would rather stab you in the back than actually hold you up.
Step on your neck just to get to that next spot.
You know, I wish that, and that's one thing I think that companies see when they come out here is the way that we work together as a whole. We've only done this for 2 years and some change, and we've only known some of these guys
company,
for
leadership-wise and training-wise. We've got,
but I'm just saying the way that we work together out here.
Yeah,
you know, I feel like I've known some of these guys for 10 years, and my 1 year anniversary on or friendiversary on Facebook comes up. I'm like, holy crap! No, that's a lie.
Yeah,
it's
Facebook,
a Mandela effect.
Facebook lies.
I'm in the Matrix or
Facebook
something.
Facebook lies.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
But and you know, that's what we want for every company that comes out here is to be able to operate like that and really just be symbiotic with each other.
So getting back to the baseball game, because that's one of the big things we were talking about. We got a little diverted just based on the fact that talking about the Outlaws go through our training. And we'll dive back more into the leadership training stuff, but talking more about this baseball game and the atmosphere and the timing. Like I said, we're going to have fireworks out there. You come into the game, it's $5 at the door unless you're a veteran. Then it's free. You get to come in and enjoy some good baseball. We've got a bunch of vendors that are going to be out there, which is awesome because, you know, we want people to be able to showcase what they offer, you know, to veterans and all that stuff
there's
too.
There's space out there.
You know, Compass Quest will be out there. Heartland K9 for Veterans will be out there. Obviously, we'll be out there. And then the game, they're playing the Joplin All-Stars, which isn't one of the Mink League teams. What it is like an all-star team of the older crew of Joplin baseball players that come out and they play against the Outlaws. So it's a non-league game, so that gives us the freedom of movement to stop the game and recognize a veteran in the community. It gives us a chance to recognize a local organization. I know last year what we did for first pitch stuff, see, because the teams, and just so everybody knows, the task force that come out and they do their thing, at the end of the class, we decided top task force. That task force that worked together the best. We recognize the instructor. We recognize the people in the class because that's kind of a big deal. We kind of like that competition thing. And the Outlaws loved that aspect.
Yeah.
So purposefully, we kept it hidden who the top task force was. And then when it was game time, when they did the introductions, they introduced them by task force.
Yep.
And then
we all got to go out there on the field and
the
stand with our
instructors went
teams.
out there.
Yeah.
And then I came out and I announced who the top task force was and who the top task force instructor was, got to throw the first pitch.
Yeah.
And it was so funny because last year it was a task force Devil Dog and Brian Rogers. I love Brian. He's awesome. This dude could hit a moving target at 1,000 meters. No problem. But you ask him to throw a baseball, oh my gosh.
Right.
It hits you in the feels because you feel bad for the guy.
It was comedy.
So 4 hours before the game, me, him, and Greg are all out in the parking lot practicing his throw. And I mean, have you ever tried to teach somebody to fish? Like use a bait caster or something? And you just get that it was like that throwing a baseball. This is an all-American kid.
And if you want to try this out for yourself, okay, grab a baseball, put it in your non-dominant hand, and then try to throw it. Because I've done that, and I feel like I'm throwing like a girl. Not, like,
there's some girls that can really throw. That could easily out-throw Brian without question.
I agree.
But it was awesome. But the cool part was the fact that, he did it. We got to reward him, and he got to go out there and, showcase the fact that it was his task force that won it. For us, when we talk about the leadership training, it's all about empowerment. We want people to feel that recognition of when they're showing true potential, or when they have a real act of genuine leadership, or when they've got a real act of just humanity. That kind of stuff is what we should be talking about and appreciating, not just the effort. Like, I get effort, like, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But those that are really taking steps to improve themselves. And that's another thing I love about the Joplin Outlaws and Mark Raines, is the fact that the Outlaws is a team in a baseball league where these kids don't have to play it. They volunteer because they want to improve their skills. They want to go through to that next level. How can we not support that and embrace that?
Absolutely.
And recognize that these kids really want to, one, the love game of baseball, and two, try and improve themselves. Three, be good examples for the kids that are coming out there and bringing back and keeping alive that great American sport that is baseball. And for us to be able to put this on again, celebrating veterans, celebrating America's favorite pastime, dollar beer, which is America's second favorite pastime, all in the same location, eating good food, eating ribs and turkey legs and all that stuff, and getting out there and having the dollar beer and peanuts and all that stuff. Companies, if you go to our website at tneleader.com and you go to upcoming events, and there in the upcoming events is the little tab for to be a sponsor. You can look on there for the Outlaws game. So you're going to want to check that out.
You got several levels of sponsorship as well, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So you got the platinum sponsorship, you've got the gold sponsorship, the silver, and then the bronze.
And they're broken down pretty easy. And those are for the companies.
Yeah.
Now, if anybody wants to donate to Brotherhood of Warriors, they can. I'm getting that set up on the website as we're talking, for an opportunity for them to just donate via PayPal, whatever else. But on there with the platinum, that's obviously the biggest sponsorship. That either goes, like Alorica has already done, is one of the platinum sponsors, which is fantastic. They're the ones putting the Outlaws through the training.
Yeah.
You get all these, you get free tickets, you get all this other stuff, and all the proceeds are going to Brotherhood of Warriors. If you go right on the website at tneleader.com, go to the upcoming video or upcoming events, and then right on there, it's got all that stuff listed. There's also a PDF file on there, so that's downloadable for anybody that just wants to print it off and start to put up a bunch of copies, whatever you want to do.
We'll also share that on the Brotherhood of Warriors Facebook page as well.
Yep.
So if you go on there on the Facebook, look up Brotherhood of Warriors. We'll be sharing, all of the Joplin Outlaws True North stuff as well.
Yeah.
It's a handshake relationship. So
doing
you're
a
helping
silent
us
auction, raffles as well. So if anybody's got anything that they want to raffle, auction off, all that stuff, we can do. We're going to be right back here in a minute. We're going to take our break and take a little shout out to our guys over at Tommy Hawks.
Yes, sir.
Tommy Hawk's Axe House, the biggest axe throwing venue in the Midwest, right here in Springfield. Indoor axe throwing, shuffleboard, cornhole, and more. We are a BYOB establishment. Make your reservation online at www.tommyhawks.net.
That was a great promo from Tommy Hawks. Man, I love that place. That
Yeah.
ability to throw tomahawks at will.
Right.
Yes, please.
Well, not Will. I mean, Will wouldn't appreciate that a whole lot, but
no. True. But Tommy Hawks is awesome.
Yes.
We've got a lot of big things coming up, going on with them. They're one of our, another veteran organization that we love right down in Springfield, Missouri. I hope people will go check them out because it's what better fun than to be able to throw tomahawks, do the whole cornhole stuff.
And it's a family setting, too, so your kids can go out there. They've got other games.
Yeah, a little bit older.
I mean,
you're looking at probably 12, 14, I think, is what they kind of want. But, and that's a safety thing. I get it, but there's other stuff for kids to do there that are right at that age, too, be able to do cornhole stuff and everything. They're also going to be out there for Veteran Appreciation Night. Out there, they're going to have a booth with their table and flyers and all that stuff, what they got going on at Tommy Hawks, which is a huge deal. We absolutely love those guys there. They've been nothing but supportive of us. We're supportive of them. And I think it's one of the great things about veterans. Again, it's like another veteran organization.
Yeah.
It's just got that magnetic draw. Yeah.
Exactly.
Which is super cool.
Drawn to each other.
So we talked about the Outlaws and how much we're looking forward to it, how awesome it is, that ability for us to go out there. And for us, the game night, that's a big break. Like the last 2 years.
Relax and.
Last 2 years, not necessarily. Lona did a lot of work. You guys did a lot of work, but maybe just for me.
We don't give Lona enough credit. I don't think we do. As much as she does behind the scenes and for stuff like that. Like, we're all out there having fun and doing our thing,
she's
and
sweating,
she is sweating,
and got her shirt tied up, and just giving that look like,
shirts
I'm good, babe.
and hats.
I'm good, babe. Everything's good. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna go play baseball. Last 2 years I've got to go out there and play, which is awesome. And we get to rub elbows. But I think we realize that she enjoys that too.
Oh yeah.
She has to realize how needed and appreciated she is. And what we always try to take every opportunity to let her know that,
right. And it doesn't go to her head.
Yeah.
She's not cocky about it. She's not like, well, if you didn't have me, you guys wouldn't, she's not like that at all. Like,
it's kind of a big deal.
She's extremely humble about it, and she's just a subject matter expert on everything that she does. So.
And again, she was right there when we started, so for this segment, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the leadership training, about why it's important to us. And I think it's a great opportunity with having you on here because you've been, my right-hand man through this whole thing. So you've seen the passion. You've been a part of the passion. You're a big reason for the vision. You're a big contributor to the vision and everything that's going on. And for me, I know I feel like a broken record sometimes, but I feel like but people don't necessarily, I don't think, see it like that because I'm just so dang passionate about what it is that we do.
Right.
Out here at True North, we've got 15 acres. We've got airsoft fields. We've got escape rooms. And that's a small part. We've got this new classroom that's all done that can seat 40.
Right.
But what it boils down to for us.
Those are just facilitators to really what it is that we.
Yeah, to showcase, for us to be able to really put in the spotlight other veterans and what it is that makes them tick, and then watch people grow from what it is that makes, what's helped us, for them to have that kind of aha moment. I wanted to talk about what's the biggest thing for you that really, let's do this in a few parts.
Okay.
We'll start off with the fact, your biggest and best feeling you have when you're out here and you're having that opportunity, that move, because we all have those moments where we step back. I want to hear about a moment where you just step back and just like.
Ultimately, I have it at every class. That's why I love what we do. I mean, it's kind of the same platform. It's the same format for each level. We've got several different levels of training, but
also on the website,
it's typically different people that come out here for every class, and that's what makes it unique because we can run the same class every day with different people and it's never the same. It really isn't. You see the people change and you see that light bulb come on and you see just that the change in character. They come out here and they like you said, they think we're going to be all knife hand, tell them to do push-ups and stuff because we're all special operations veterans and blah, blah, blah. And we have tattoos and big tight shirts. But no, it's not like that. Once they get through the classroom portion, which is what we start with, and they get to hear a lot of our experiences, and then so that they've got that twinge of fear in their eye in the beginning. And, by the end of the day, they're all sweaty and they're laughing and they're high-fiving each other, and they have no fear that they went out there and just shot a bunch of people with airsoft guns.
Yeah, and it's in saying that.
Mhm.
I completely agree, but I think by the time they get to the end, they realize it's so much more
Right.
than just running around out there and shooting people. And I think that's one thing when I'm always talking to companies and I'm talking to people about how much different it is. Like, you can do team building stuff and you can play airsoft and you can do capture the flag, but that's missing the point of what we do with the leadership training.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I've really enjoyed with watching like you and Brian and Matt and Kevin and Jason and Cruz and all you guys grow on your side, on the instructor side, is that real appreciation of how we can correlate what it is that they're doing out there to actual stuff they can apply back in the real world that
Right.
makes sense, that makes it much more than just a friendly, fun day where
Yeah.
you do a talent show.
And when you see that transformation in somebody within an 8-hour period, it's huge. It's enormous for us as instructors and us as people that are trying to relay our experiences and build somebody up as a leader. By the end of the day, when you see that, even if it's a small transformation, it is so rewarding. And I don't know if you can throw this up here, but that picture that you have in the presentation that we do in the beginning of the class where I'm smiling and you're just like
In the promo video?
yeah. I don't know if you can throw that up there or not, but that face right there is how I feel every class because it's just the
think we can
embodiment.
make that happen.
Yeah, it's the embodiment of my joy for my job, my passion for my job. That's
Zach just said, we'll go ahead and make that happen.
Fantastic.
So we'll get that out there because, that's one thing. And again, on our website, on teenyleader.com, when you click on there and you go to our, that talks about our leadership training, it's got our training video right on there. And that's what you're referencing.
yeah.
I'm sure that's what
right.
you're referencing.
It's right at the end of that video.
Right
yeah.
at the end of the video, it pans over to you because I'm standing there giving a brief or talking about something, and you just get this look on your face of like real joy. Either
Yeah.
one, picturing me without clothes on, but I don't think that's the case.
No.
I feel like it's
No,
just
I mean, you can keep thinking that, but
no. But I get that same feeling too, and that's one thing that people need. We're in this day and age where people need that sincere bond that we share. One, so we've got us, where we've got what it is that matters to us, and they just happen to become a part of that, of what matters to us.
Right.
And as leaders, it's weird how that dynamic works. Is when you feel included in that someone's passion, when you get included in what it is that's important to somebody, you have this sense of like security, this sense of trust that this person has my best interest in mind. And not only that, it fits right into their wheelhouse of the passion of everything that it is that's important to them. So that smile right there, people should watch that and be like, these are people that really care about what it is that they do. Like we don't just do this because, for whatever reason, pick your reason.
many reasons.
Yeah, anything. For us, it's real simple. For us, it's the opportunity to be there for each other, get to hang out with each other in this environment. 2, watching the companies come in, watching the people transform, or at least appreciate what it is that we're trying to do or what it is that we're doing, and be able to, really fully involve themselves in that process is what makes True North a success.
And we're improving our community. As I would like to use that typically as one of our main reasons of why we do what we do, but essentially it's a byproduct. It is the byproduct of what we do. We're passionate about what we do. It's not really a reason of why we do what we do, but it's a byproduct of what we do.
Yeah.
And improving the leadership in our community is enormous.
100%. It all falls right into it.
Yeah.
And that's, and it's been weird. I will say, for us, we're so passionate about it. We believe in it so much. Like, I feel that every company should be doing this leadership training.
Yeah.
So it's very humbling when that doesn't happen. And, part of it is just a time thing. I think people do feel this concern about the physical aspect, about, what it is that we do out here. But our idea is, but what it is the empowerment aspect. We find ways for people to succeed. You know, our goal is not to just kick people on the ground.
And we've had people out here of all, various ages, age brackets, various shapes, forms, and sizes of people. It's not all that, just younger leadership teams that are kids that are out here that can run and do all this stuff. I mean, we've had people from 18 years old to 60 years old, come out here and do this. So it's not limiting by any means. And if there are any setbacks, we can accommodate that by, 100-fold. So.
Yeah, with these, we've got the stuff with the escape rooms, we do the classroom stuff, we've got out in the field stuff, and it's again, going back to it, is there's something different, there's something happening here, and that's why I wanted to be able to talk to you about it, come in here so people can really hear. Like, I really fully believe that there's something happening, that when people come to this class and people come out here, there's something. I always I talk about the True North compound as my field of dreams. And, there's a couple different reasons for that. One, almost all the building I've got to do out here, my dad has been right out here with me.
Yeah.
If you build it, he will come. And it's at our time, just like in Field of Dreams, to playing baseball with your dad and, going through this stuff together. I get this opportunity to do that. 2, I get to do it with all my friends, like in this atmosphere that's crazy. And 3, there's just something about the atmosphere that has been created out here. There's something about people walking in these doors and knowing something's going to happen, but they don't know what.
Right.
They don't, and we don't know it either. That's why you said you're excited every single time.
Yeah.
Every class, we're motivated because it is so different in every class, and you look for what that is, and when you know that moment, you try and key up on it, and it triggers new conversation. Yeah. And we're, as veterans, we're very good at the impromptu and on the fly stuff. And like, hey, this just made me think of this. And I think I want people to go to our website and to look at that and to look at the training and contact us, come out here and take tours and hang out and just to see and feel that atmosphere. Because we got different events, the static events and all this stuff. And there's different opportunities.
There's just so much going on out here, period. Like Brian once said, we're serial entrepreneurs. We're not happy unless we're waking up, drinking our coffee, and starting another business. Yeah.
It's just, there's so much truth in that.
Let me just pour this business into my bowl of Cheerios and we'll get started. We've got 4 businesses out here at this compound.
And now the nonprofit.
Earlier, and the nonprofit's just getting started up. So, I mean, not only do you come out here to learn leadership from an awesome group of guys, but you can come out here and you can buy cups. You can get your weapon Cerakoted or personally engraved. We've got tactical gear. We've got hunting gear. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah,
come out here and we'll get a beauty shop set up. Lona can rub like an Ulta out here, maybe a Sephora.
The new business that we're looking at bringing out here. I was like, I've got 20 minutes.
Right.
Let's start another business.
Yeah.
And then we sit down and we draw up a plan. And we think about it. How can we execute this? And that's the beauty of with the training that we do, that it's none of the stuff we do, and this is preaching to the choir, but people that might not know that every single time it's different out here about how we approach the class. So like if a CEO or a business owner contacts me, I can adjust fire on what it is that company needs. So if they need more communication, if they don't communicate well, if they do a lot of customer service stuff, we can adjust the missions and write the missions that's going to make them think about that next step of how to become better in those
And really, when
areas.
you say write the missions, it's not that doesn't solely entail just going out there and running lanes and doing hostage rescue. It's basically a syllabus for what from the very beginning to the very end.
Yep.
It's how we're going to approach the people coming into the class. It's how we're going to determine, our avenue of approach for what we have to say from our experience. We get to pick and choose because we are fortunate to have well over 125 years of military
200
style,
over
leadership.
200 years of military leadership experience, over 25 combat tours.
We've all experienced the same, and we've all experienced much different. So we can pick and choose and pick each other's minds and their brains and really adapt to whatever it is and the company needs.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is we want them to see what our process looks like. We want them to see the respect that we have for each other, the respect and passion that we have for our jobs and our mission. And if there was a way we could find to bottle that and give it to a company and say, here's the playbook, I feel like we're getting there with True North. And I say I feel like we're getting there because there's still a little bit of that, kind of pushback from one being relatively new. We're a couple years,
Right.
into it. But two, people kind of worried about the physical aspect. But we're even covering down on that. We are now working different ways to overcome that barrier as well. But it's not even necessarily that physical, but it's the mindset.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing. People come out here that never thought they could do this, and 5 minutes later, boom, they're accomplishing that. And then you get to see that.
And that's one of the small things I'm talking about whenever I see that light bulb come on. When you see someone realize that they can do something that they didn't previously think they could do before walking through these doors, that is... I have goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying. Just because
the crazy part is that's part of the training.
Yeah.
People are so used to doing the exact same thing over and over and over again. This is how we've always done it. This is how we always did it. And when I do hear that conversation where it might be too tough, part of my thought process is like, go through that next level.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself. Tell your team, recognize as a leader, I want to challenge my guys. I don't want them to just give them something easy and comfortable and something that they're used to.
You have to keep them motivated.
We want them to explore, and I use that exact word in the video, is to explore their leadership techniques out here with us. Put yourself to the test. And that's one thing I always talk about. Like people, will message me or whatever. Hey, I'm kind of in a slump. I'm kind of having an issue with this. Do something different.
Yeah, it
Open
can't
up
hurt.
a YouTube video and watch a little documentary on something that it is that you're wanting to know how to be better at.
Yeah.
It's really,
We have the world. We have that advantage now to have the world at our fingertips. We literally carry the world around in our pocket, on our phones.
Yeah.
The internet is in a little tiny box
interwebs.
inside our pocket all day. Growing up, we didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't. We had Encyclopedia
Outside.
Britannica that we got thrown at. It was thrown at us.
Go to volume 13 if you want to know about quails.
People are so fortunate nowadays where they can just pull out their phone and learn virtually anything they want to learn.
Listen to a podcast. You can do that right on here.
Right.
Like some people, I think, and this goes back to it, what we talked about is people need something to grab onto. And right now there's so much negative stuff out there that they're all grabbing and feeding on this negative stuff. They're posting it and sharing it. They're talking about it. They're getting pissed off. They're emotional. Well, if you want to fix it, if you want to change a culture, that starts with the individual. And I could feel myself getting more and more passionate about it and having conviction about it because it's so important to me. And I recognize who I am. There's still plenty of things that I need to learn and grow on. And I continue to try and do that.
It's always evolving.
Realize I'm going to have bad days. Cool. Move out and draw fire. Stuff's going to be a little bit difficult. Cool. Move out and draw fire.
Good.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
And you're quoting Jocko there when he's talking about good. That's really, if you're not looking at things as a learning experience, if you're not looking at things as another opportunity, because life sucks for a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
it sucks for all of us at various points of time,
Yeah.
Whether it's for 10 minutes or...
And that's the real point.
10 days.
That you don't have to let it stay there.
Yeah.
And, for us, we obviously advocate True North and the leadership training out here because it's our baby.
Right.
But we also know that it works. We know it's effective. We know we've got a great venue for people to come in and help teach us.
Yeah.
Because like every class that comes out here, we learn something new.
And that's positive for us. If we're having a bad day and we come out here and we see a little bit of that positivity, that could be the spark that changes our entire day.
Definitely.
It be that little bit of light, not only for yourself, but for somebody else. And that you have no idea the ripple effect that can have.
Yeah.
I mean, I say
like
that and
Air
it's a little
Force.
cliche, but when you really listen to it and you really think about it and you delve down deep, that really, it can change.
Yeah.
You change a person's day, it's huge.
And I just want to use this opportunity real quick to say thank you, Brody, for being a part of my life and being right here with us. And for everyone out there for listening, be sure and subscribe and share this. Go to the webpage, help out with Brotherhood of Warriors with Director Brodi Pursley over there. Let's change lives together. Let's help out veterans. Let's make a difference. Let's change the culture. That's why we're here. And Brody, I'm proud of you, man. Just keep up the fight. Let's keep getting through this together. And
Yes, sir.
I fucking love you.
Love you too.
That's all we got today,
All right.
man.
Thank you.